Let's go across to Arvind Zanga, who's joining us for more on this. He's managing partner at Geosphere Capital. Gaurav Sansanwal, fellow at CSIS, also joining in this morning. So we're trying to understand all angles of this. Arvind, let me start with your take of what's been happening. The last tariff rate we know is 25% plus penalties. Now, the penalties bit is what is going to be looking like maybe increasing from the rhetoric that we've heard from US President Trump overnight.
I suspect his bark is worse than his bite. There is absolutely very little interest on the part of President Trump to have oil prices go up dramatically. If India's 2 million barrels that it's buying from Russia were to stop, and if Russia were able to maybe divert even 500,000 somewhere else, that would still be 1 million barrels plus disappearing off the market. Oil prices would be up $15 in a heartbeat. I don't think President Trump wants that while he's trying to get Fed to lower rates. So this is a sideshow. If he were really interested, he would be going after all the buyers, China, India, China, everybody. But I think this is more President Trump's pet peeve that India will not agree to his clearly ludicrous claim that he was single-handedly brought about that ceasefire between India and Pakistan. So I think the Indian government has done the right thing. I think calling his bluff is the right way because I don't think Trump wants oil prices to go up the way they would if he were to follow through.
Point that you make, Arvind. Hi, morning. Gaurav, I'm just coming to you on this one. Do as I say, not as I do. This seems to be the issue because ultimately you have US trade, you have major heavy metals that are being pulled, palladium, uranium, and they have much more nuclear power generation than practically anybody else, the US. And so therefore, this is an important resource. So how could they possibly say, don't buy oil from a country that we're importing from as well?
No, absolutely. I think, and we must remember that the Biden administration acknowledged the fact that India buying oil from Russia was critical to maintaining global price stability. And because of the fact that commodity prices of almost about everything are linked to energy and oil, that was the idea to have a price cap and to continue buying. So I think, given the fact that this has just come out now in the relationship, I think tells us that this is in the context of the negotiations that are ongoing between the two countries. And I agree that it should not be seen as a knee-jerk, as something that deserves a knee-jerk reaction, because these things are structural and maintaining global price stability is important. So given the fact that even if India tries to reduce its dependence on Russian oil, the beneficiaries are likely to be the Middle Eastern powers and not the US so much. Because price matters in this market. And so market and price decides this. And so taking that into account, this is surely in the context of the negotiation that's going on. And I think while we are likely to hear a little bit more on this until the two sides can sit down and do a handshake, it is not going to critically alter what has been going on because it's market driven.
Arvind, good evening. Neeraj here, and just trying to understand how does an investor think about all of these things, because it seems that the pitch, which is already shrill, could get even louder before an eventual handshake, as Gaurav said, does get in. So does the investor become nervous, or does the investor use this nervousness, if any, as an investing opportunity? Because frankly, India is not a tiny toon penny change economy. It's amongst the top 5. You antagonize relationships with India as well at your own peril.
Well, the problem with President Trump is he has taken a bullying approach to a lot of countries, whether it is Brazil, or it's the EU, and now it's India's turn. And so my assumption is that eventually there will be a deal. Hopefully, the deal will be much more reasonable than where we are today. But I think I think that there would be an opportunity. But am I dying to buy companies which are export dependent? No, unless they sell off a lot more. I'm more interested in more the domestic facing sectors, which are kind of not impacted by this. And assuming that things will settle down, there's still substantial new tariffs coming on things like pharmaceuticals, which have nothing to do with India. So that's going to hurt the Indian pharma industry. Let's take as an example. The Indian IT industry has its own challenges with AI. So I think that we have to, separate the signal from the noise. And the signal is that there are challenges for certain subsectors which are independent of the India-US situation, and there are sectors that are not as impacted. So that's the distinction that we are trying to do.
So that's
very well put, by the way.
It's very well put. And Arvind, I guess for now, that's the final word on what this is all about. And I guess, as Gaurav has said, once the handshake gets done, a lot of this might just dissipate. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, gentlemen, and for that perspective.